Stiff hips, back pain, aching joints, pelvic floor and grip weakness are just some of the problems that can affect women from midlife onwards.
The other side.
But there are some simple exercises to help us prevent and even turn these issues around. As a journalist in my 50s, focused on sharing the best information around how to age well, I've interviewed and I follow a number of physical therapists or physios, strength trainers and health professionals, and I've identified 5 important exercises that are consistently recommended to improve core strength, endurance, daily function and bone strength. Today, I'm going to share what they are and how they can help us. So this first exercise is super simple but very helpful for bone health, and that is jumping or even hopping. Now, the number one best way to build bone and muscle is through progressive weight training, which I've covered a lot on this channel and will include links to episodes explaining the benefits below. But jumping or hopping are also helpful because bone is a living tissue, constantly being broken down and rebuilt. Its strength depends not only on hormones, but also on the mechanical load or the physical stress we place on it. So when we exercise in the right way, we release growth factors that stimulate bone formation. Studies show jumping and hopping can improve bone density, with biggest gains seen in younger adults. So it's a good idea to start early, but there are still benefits for older adults too, particularly at the femoral neck, which is the part of the hip joint that's most vulnerable to fracture. I find hopping particularly helpful because it's less impactful on the pelvic floor, for those of us who may be challenged there. Though jumping is easier and certainly less risky if you're just starting out and may struggle with balance. And jump training seems to work best when done frequently, several times a week, with bone benefits recorded with just 10 to 20 jumps a day, though 50 or more jumps are often recommended. But if you're not used to jumping or you're starting later in life, then it's important to start cautiously, building up the impact and repetition. So experts say that later in life, it might be a good idea to start with a few gentle jumps or hops on a softer surface. And if needed, you can hold onto a table for balance. It's recommended to start with short bouts and gradually increase as your joints and confidence adapt. And for those who've built strength and confidence, you could add in some side to side and back and forward jumps as I do, because that places additional demands on our bones, which can add to the effectiveness of jumping. Now, regular viewers will know my parents and I build strength in the garage of my home using a barbell, which is a really effective way of working multiple muscle groups at the same time using compound movements. But the most important thing is just to make a start somewhere. And you don't have to join a gym or install equipment at home to begin getting stronger. There are also some great home fitness resources out there, and one of my favourites is Get Healthy UTV, sponsors of today's episode. It's an online platform and community offering workouts, health tips and fitness inspiration, covering all kinds of exercise, including some great strength training and cardio workouts, kettlebell training, and more. And for a quick warm-up on busy days, I like founder Chris Freitag's 10-minute yoga sessions. And yesterday I did her 30-minute core HIIT session, which is tough but really enjoyable. And there's something for every level, including chair exercises for those with mobility difficulties. Viewers can use the QR code on screen to access Get Healthy UTV, or you'll find a link below. And the first 1,000 viewers to click it are guaranteed a full year of premium membership to Get Healthy UTV for only $1.49, with auto-renew to full price membership applying after a year. This offer is valid for new members only. Now back to the list of important exercises most commonly recommended by experts, and one that would be top of my list is squatting. Squats form a key part of the weight training program I follow with my parents, and we do them with a weighted load. But a great place to start, and something I do on days off weight training, are unweighted squats. And I'm going to link to a video below from Starting Strength. They are the company that trained my parents, and it will show you the ideal squatting technique. But let me also tell you why they're so beneficial. Squats are one of the most valuable functional exercises because they strengthen the large muscles of the lower body, glutes, quads, and hamstrings, while also engaging your core. And they're fundamental to everyday movements like sitting, standing, climbing stairs. So maintaining these muscles is so important to our quality of life. Strong legs and hips are critical for balance and independence as we age. And research consistently shows that maintaining lower body strength reduces the risk of falls and preserves mobility into later life. As for how to get started, well, if you struggle to do a full depth squat unaided, you could begin with a supported squat like my mum does, using something like a bench or chair. Now, my mum has progressed to a lower box that my dad made specially for her, and over time, we can add a little weight to the squat using something like an adjustable weighted vest where you can add a single pound or kilo at a time to gradually increase your load. And the next exercise is one I was given by a physiotherapist years back after childbirth to help strengthen my pelvic floor, and I got out of the habit of doing it until I interviewed physical therapist and strength coach Chris Vocher on this channel, and he had this to say about why we should be incorporating a bridge or pelvic tilt movement into our regimen.
And I would actually argue, when I was working in the clinic, one of the things that kind of our first step with like core activation was actually what you just talked about there, kind of engaging we call it the pelvic tilt, kind of pulling the belly button to the spine, kind of drawing in at the pelvis. And you might not even lift your hips at all to start off with. So that could be like the first phase of the movement. And then once you kind of nail that, then you can go ahead and start engaging more of that bridge and being able to kind of draw in, hold tight, squeeze up, squeeze your bottom, hold for a few seconds, and then control back down. So that's a kind of a nice progression to things if you wanted to kind of put all those different pieces together. So yeah, I love the pelvic tilt, the idea of kind of engaging those deep core muscles, because the reality is that's actually what stabilizes the spine. It's not really your six-pack muscles. Your six-pack muscles are more artificial. And again, there's nothing wrong with training those things, but they're not really doing a great job of actually stabilizing the low back at a deep level.
So I'm going to link that full interview below because Chris had some great tips to share. But as he explained there, the bridge exercise is simple but powerful for core activation. And it strengthens the muscles that stabilize the pelvis and spine, counteracting back pain and supporting posture. And I add in a few Kegels when I'm doing mine as I hold the bridge at the top to help keep my pelvic floor in check. And as Chris said, the idea with the bridge is to lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat, press through your heels to lift your hips up, and hold for a second or longer if you can, then lower slowly. And experts suggest starting with 2 to 3 sets of between 8 to 12 reps, depending on what's safe and achievable for you. Now, the next exercise is also really important for our core and those glute muscles, and that's incline walking. Now, walking on its own is often called the most accessible exercise, but adding an incline makes it a strength and endurance builder too. And again, it was Chris who really switched me on to this. I live in a hilly city, so it's not too difficult to find an incline to charge up. And here's what he had to say about those benefits.
I'm a big fan of incline walking because when we're walking on an incline, it's very low impact, but it does a great job of engaging that posterior chain. So think about everything from your low back down your backside. So, your butt muscles, your hamstring, your calves, all of that is being really worked pretty significantly when we're walking uphill. So it's also helping from a posture standpoint too. So if you sit a lot and you can do some incline walking, there's a bit of a kind of a tug of war that's able to go on there to kind of try to help keep you in balance.
So as Chris said there, incline walking engages the posterior chain, the glutes, hamstrings, and calves, while also improving our cardiovascular fitness. And if you live in a flat area and want to include incline walking into your routine, you could always try using a treadmill at home or at a nearby gym. Otherwise, you could try to make your walks more challenging by seeking out hills or even gentle slopes. And we know that picking up our pace has multiple health benefits, as I shared in a recent video, including improving your endurance. So you could try an interval structure with incline walking where you walk as briskly as you comfortably can uphill and then recover on flat ground. And the fifth and final exercise I wanted to flag today is grip strengthening. Strong hands aren't just about opening jars. They are linked to better function in daily activities, with grip strength increasingly recognized as a reliable marker of overall health and longevity. A big study in The Lancet found grip strength was a better predictor of the risk of death and cardiovascular problems than blood pressure. And other large studies have shown poor grip strength to be strongly associated with a wide range of adverse health outcomes. And it's such a simple thing, but it tells us a lot about overall resilience as we age. At 82, my mum's grip strength at the start of this year was really pretty weak, but each time we change weights on our barbell as we train, we have to remove and then add a barbell collar to hold them in place. And the one we use most regularly is a squeezable spring collar. And as my mum grew in strength and confidence, she started changing weights herself, and she really struggled with the collar to begin with, but not anymore. And this is the effect it's had on her day-to-day life, as she'll tell you.
Bottles and cans are no problem now. And they used to be a big problem. I had to get Dad to open them for me.
And how long's that been going on? Not being able to open them?
Years? Oh yeah. Years. I've just noticed this week.
That you can do it yourself?
I can do it myself.
So it's a good idea to deliberately try to train grip strength a couple of times a week alongside your other exercises. We recently heard from super strong ninja competitor Jenny McCall how at 73 she uses an inexpensive twister bar to improve her grip. So I'll link to one below because our grip is such an easily overlooked aspect of our strength and health, and so worth improving. So those are 5 of the most recommended exercises for women over 40 according to the experts, and they are hopping or jumping, squats, bridges, incline walking, and grip strengthening. Each one supports a different dimension of healthy aging, from bone density to core stability, endurance, and functional strength. And remember, it's always a good idea to check with a qualified trainer or healthcare provider before starting something new, particularly if you have a mobility or medical issue. Keep it safe. And if this episode has helped you, please give it a like, share it with someone who could benefit from it, and subscribe or follow if you haven't already for more honest content. You're going to find further information around healthy aging as well as skincare, including product reviews from me on my website, honest.scot. And you'll find a link below that you can use to sign up to my monthly newsletter where I round up all my latest content so you don't miss out. And if you'd like more from the Honest channel, also below you'll find a joining link for our members page, which has bonus footage and exclusive insights. Well, that's it for today, but let me know some of your favourite exercises in the comments below and what helps you most. And until next time, thank you for being here.